And you know who's not having a lot of fun right now? Pat
Probably Hannah.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
Probably
Pat
Hannah
Fitzgerald's
listening to
having a
this
rough day.
nonsense. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were saying Hannah wasn't
Yeah.
having fun listening to us two idiots
Well,
blab.
she probably isn't either. But Pat Fitzgerald is not having much fun right now. He just filed a suit. We didn't talk about it all last week because when we recorded it on Monday. It was about 2 hours fresh, and there's a lot of emotional things people could have been saying. We wanted to kind of wait a little bit, let some more of the details come out about it before we really dove deep into it and had a discussion on it. Um, the allegations of hazing, the stuff that of the hazing that was going on was
Disgusting.
it was disgusting, to quote Joe Buck. It was
Heinous.
This is 2022. This is not it's not something that should be doing. If when you're talking hazing at this point, if you want a freshman to carry your pads or clean the locker room, stuff like that, I think that's okay. But
Maybe
the
a
stuff
bad
that they were
a
doing,
bad haircut.
a bad, and that's pushing it. But
Sorry.
but
I mean, if you shave someone's head, that's about as far as I think a haircut can go. Not like the whole Tim Tebow halo, but if you just. But then again, yeah, you're right. The haircut might be pushing it.
What if you
and it depends. It's something that you'd have to okay with whoever it was.
That is true.
It's like, but it was, and a guy that, when you think of Northwestern football, you think of Pat Fitzgerald, and he's lawyered up. He didn't get some slapdick either. He got like one of the higher paying attorneys that probably charge $1,000 an email, and he's gonna go out fighting it. I think partially he was fired because he was originally suspended for 2 weeks, and if there wasn't the media outcry for it, he probably still has a job. I also think it was very easy to fire him based off the last 2 seasons that he's had. I think if it's coming off of the 2020 COVID season and this all comes out where they played for a Big Ten title and made it to Indianapolis, I think he's able to keep his job. And it would be similar to more of a Urban Meyer situation where they were able to, the Urban Meyer doesn't have any moral high ground, or just doesn't seem like a great dude. But, Pat Fitzgerald saying that he didn't know, I find that complete bullshit for a guy that's considered someone that's in depth and it knows the insides and outs of it, and the reports are out that he knew and was clapping in a way that guy had to get run or whatever it was called. These coaches that they're dictators essentially, that what they say go, and to the most part it does work. But when things like this start coming out, you put the university in a tough spot where they don't have a choice. They have to get rid of you. And if you're allowing it to happen and you claim that you know what's going on and you are the control freak that you are, which most college coaches are, they have to know. And maybe they don't know it all, but they know that it's going on. They're not stupid.
Well, and also these college kids are dumb. They're going to talk and say stupid stuff. They don't know how to keep a secret.
Yeah.
So these coaches are going to hear things, and it might not be the actual, the exact details on what they did to this guy, but they're making jokes about something that sounds eerily similar, and they keep talking about it. These coaches know. You would have to literally just not be trying to listen to them to not know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, like Dylan, I think you said it right. Like, he probably deserved to be fired, and I think we can all agree on that. But just how the AD handled it, very well could give Fitzgerald $40 million. Like you said, he gets in the 2-week suspension, which is ironic because fall ball starts in 3 weeks. Oh wow! What are you missing?
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
What are
Literally
the odds?
a
What are
little
the odds?
slap
Well,
on
it
the
was
hand.
2 games. It was 2 games, wasn't it?
No, it was 2 weeks
thought-
from the start. It wasn't 2 games. It was 2 weeks away from the program.
So he wasn't going to miss any of the games?
No,
No.
it was 2 weeks
Really?
from
Oh,
from
wow.
where he was. Yeah, it's a joke.
These coaches don't talk to these players in the summer anyway. It's all the wait staff.
Yeah,
It's
like
the
they
strength and
literally
conditioning
can only
staff.
have minimal contact essentially, or no practices at least.
Exactly.
But then what? 48 hours, 72 hours later, you get all this backlash, and then you move forward with the termination. What changed in those 48 hours that you didn't know at the beginning? Literally nothing, except just the public's outrage, which because you butchered it from the start. Like, I get he's at Northwestern football. They are terrible ever since he's not there. One, he went to the Rose Bowl when he played, and two, he actually brought him back to somewhat average. Last 10 years, he's probably won the most. 8 years, I guess, probably the most.
Winningest coach in Northwestern history.
Oh, easy, yeah. It's like, but at the same time, like, there's a standard, and that what he was doing surely isn't it.
And especially at an institution like Northwestern, where this isn't Alabama. This isn't Auburn. This isn't Florida State. This isn't the University of Florida is a good public school, but this isn't Clemson. This is a institution where you have the right to play football. Your grade and academics and how you represent the school come first. And for you to let this happen under your watch, it's a black guy in the university that you can't have him associated with you and your university. So they probably should have just terminated him from the beginning. To Ethan's point, now they're just going to have to pay the bag over because they handled this the wrong way. And attorneys are going to get involved, and it's going to cost the school and everyone a lot of money.
What's ironic is it's school, like the school papers everywhere just keep dying and dying. And Northwestern's probably a top 5 journalism school in the country.
Oh,
yeah.
They're the one that broke the stories
probably.
to start.
Yes.
Which is crazy. Like a school newspaper breaks the story that might be the tale of college football before the season even starts.
Well, and what's, to Ethan, they had the courage to say, who cares if it's the local hero and Pat Fitzgerald? This is newsworthy, and we need to do our job as journalists. They didn't back down.
No.
A lot of at USC, at Alabama, at Ohio State, these journalism, the director of the journalism program, they would have backed down and said, "Oh, we can't do it. We can't do it to this coach. He's a god.
Evan
He's
Flood at
untouchable."
Wisconsin. He would 100% done it. I mean, he took an offer off for one of their home state players because they didn't commit there. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, credit to the journalism program at Northwestern, where they had the courage to say, "Hey, this is our job. This is what we go to school for. If there's a report of, mistreating players, sexually with hazing and emotional damage, you have to report on this. You have to get this to the public eye." And they didn't back down. So credit to them.
Yeah,
credit to them for doing that.
And a lot of it too is I've listened to a few podcasts throughout with guys that have played college football, and in that's like most of the time, that's what most colleges or coaches, they get up and say that we do not tolerate hazing. We do not allow it. It is not permitted in this locker room. And if I see it, you're going to face consequences. And it's just unfortunate that's what it didn't happen, and it is what it is. But it also goes back to coaches know. And
coaches know.
It's also one of those things that I guarantee you all coaches, back from when the guys that you played for, they knew the kids that were partying, they knew the kids that were drinking. They all know that stuff. It's just a matter of getting caught or not.
Well, and guys, what's interesting is Ethan brought up when Northwestern won the Big Ten in '95 when Pat Fitzgerald was there. The head coach for that team was Gary Barnett. Well, remember when he went to Colorado, there was an accusation that some members of the football team sexually assaulted the female kicker. Colorado didn't do anything about that. But then after they lose to Texas in the Big 12 title game, 70-3, then they say, "Oh yeah, we have to fire this head coach." Not after there was a report that 2 players assaulted a girl on your team, but after you lose by 67 points. So And maybe the reason why Pat let this go is, who knows, maybe this has been a Northwestern thing for a long time, back to when Gary Barnett was there, and maybe Pat just thought, "Hey, it's just the way it is. It's we got to teach these freshmen how to toughen up and welcome to college football, and it's a disgusting act." And he just thought, "Oh, it's just, it's football culture. It's tough. It's not for everybody." With that,
Well, and you look, the baseball coach was resigned because of a lack of the
Racist.
allegations of hate,
could we call
racism, hazing,
institutional control to deal with the Miami Hurricanes with?
Exactly. Which they ended up. It was more so the NCAA, which had the lack of institutional control in that situation. But this sounds like it's a university problem.
Mm-hmm.
If the football coach is fired, now the baseball coach is fired, and who else knows what other sports it's going on there.
Well, and guys,
it could be a whole university thing, and if that's the case, the president needs to be on the chopping block, and I think it is a new president and AD at Northwestern, so maybe this is how they
for sure left recently. I can't remember where he went.
Okay.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
He went to be a commissioner, I think.
And this new president and AD are the ones that are uncovering it, or maybe they tipped the newspaper off and they gave them that information to kind of and trying to clean it up of Northwestern's, of what is considered one of the best universities in America.
Well, and guys, also, it's interesting, Dylan, earlier on you mentioned the social media outcry. Another reason why I think there's some serious flames to the smoke here is this. I know Northwestern doesn't have a lot of guys in the NFL, but where has Rashawn Slater and then is it Gregory Newsome, the corner? They've been pretty quiet. What I'm saying is this: if these allegations aren't true, and Pat Fitzgerald lost his job when he shouldn't have because this actually didn't happen, I bet you in today's world these players would have been on social media protecting their college coach, but they've been quiet.
And the players on the team have voiced their support.
But also
some of them.
There's also a group of 8 players just today. They're getting a prominent attorney from Chicago, and they're suing the school based off of emotional and sexual damage caused by these
civil lawsuit
allegations. Because let's tie it back to the team on my chest right now. When Iowa had the Chris Doyle with the racism in 2020, you had a lot of former players say, "Hey, he was a bad dude," or this coaching staff, they told black players to take their hoods off when they were inside. You know which guys you didn't hear from on social media? George Kittle, T.J. Hawkinson, Ricky Stanzi, probably because it was true. If it wasn't true, they would have said something, but they were like, "Hey, what my brothers are saying, there's some truth to it, and I can't dispute it."
Yeah. And
I looked it up. Jim Phillips, their old AD, is now the ACC commissioner.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So quite the jump.